Welcome everyone to South Huron Council meeting Tuesday, April 22nd, and welcome to those members of our staff that are here this evening, and welcome to the members of the public who are here in the gallery and those participating from home on Zoom. Welcome to all of you. I'll call this meeting to order and I'll ask everyone to make sure your cell phones are turned off or on mute, and I'll ask everyone to rise for Roll Canada if you're able. Thank you. And we'll begin our meeting with our land acknowledgement. As we gather, we are reminded that the municipality of South Huron is situated on Treaty 29 land that is steeped in rich Indigenous history and home for First Nations, Inuit, and Métis people today. And as a community, we have a responsibility to honor and respect this territory's significance for the Indigenous peoples who lived and continue to live upon it and whose practices and spiritualities were tied to the land and continue to develop in relationship to the territory and its other inhabitants today. In the spirit of reconciliation and truth, we acknowledge the Anishinaabe and the Haudenosaunee peoples on whose traditional territory we are meeting on. And thank you for that. We'll move on to item number 2. Ms. Basula-Collison, please.
The South Huron Council approves the agenda as presented.
And a mover, please. Moved by Councillor Neeb, second by Councillor Vaughan. Any discussion? Call the question. All in favor? And that carries with 6. Thank you. Disclosure of pecuniary interest and the general nature thereof. Are there any disclosures at this time? And not seeing any, we go on to presentations, but there are none, and we go on to 5.1. And we welcome Jonathan Rolston from the Canada Day Celebration Weekend. And please come up whenever you're ready, Jonathan. Good to have you in the building. Look forward to your presentation.
Good evening, Mayor Finch, council members, and everyone present and watching. My name is Jonathan Rolston, and this is Jack Atkinson and Patricia Kreykamp. We are the founding members of the Huron Togetherness Project, a new nonprofit based here in South Huron. We are currently in the process of becoming a registered charity. Our mission is simple but meaningful: to bring our community together, rekindling the connection and spirit that has been missing in recent years. At the same time, we're committed to raising funds for local mental health initiatives, an area we believe is critically underserved in our region. The idea for this project began with a simple goal: organizing Canada Day celebrations for South Huron. We originally came together as an ad hoc Canada Day committee, but quickly ran into logistical challenges without an organization backing us. After several conversations with local organizations, we realized it would be more practical to start our own, and from that, the Huron Togetherness Project was born. We have planned a full weekend of festivities from June 27th to 29th, the weekend before Canada Day, and we chose this timing for 3 main reasons. 1, Canada Day falls on a Tuesday this year. 2, hosting the events over a weekend allows for multiple days of celebration. And 3, we understand that other nearby communities are holding events on Canada Day itself. The plans we have include concerts on all 3 days, fireworks, a car show and parade, a bike rodeo, youth activities like face painting and cookie decorating, an art class, community organization kiosks, and a cornhole tournament, and the list is continuing to grow. There are still several other things in the works. Events will be held at various locations throughout Exeter, including the downtown Parkette, library parking lot, rec center field, and the rodeo arena. Although there are only 3 of us organizing this project, none of it would be possible without our growing list of community partners who are facilitating most of these events. We're proud to be working with the Exeter BIA, the Exeter Library, Big Brothers Big Sisters of South Huron, the Optimist Club of South Huron, the Heritage Foundation and Oddfellows, the South Huron Arts Center, the Lions Club, Jessica's House, the South Huron Hawks, the Hensel Kinsman Club, and the Asable Bayfield Conservation Authority. We've also had great support from community members. For example, John Corbett is coordinating the cornhole tournament. We're actively reaching out to more local service groups with the hope to grow this list even further. It is our goal to keep these events free and accessible as possible for the public. Instead of charging fees, we are encouraging donations. For the cornhole tournament, there is a $5 entry fee per person, but $4 of that is going towards prizes for the tournament, and the remaining $1 is donated to local mental health initiatives. For the concerts, we'll be accepting physical donations for the Food Bank Distribution Center and cash donations for mental health supports. We're here tonight not just to inform you of our efforts, but to ask for your support. We kindly request, 1, permission to use the following municipal locations: the downtown Parkette, the library parking lot, the rec center field and rodeo arena. 2, approval to have the concerts run until midnight on Friday and Saturday, June 27 and 28. And 3, assistance regarding the rec center. We recently learned it will be shut down for maintenance during the planned event. When we began planning in February, we believe the entire rec center would be available, and we're hoping that council can support us in finding a workable solution to this unexpected challenge. We were wondering if the ag building might be a viable alternative to hold an indoor-outdoor event. We were thinking maybe have the stage in the ag building, that way we can close the doors at the end of the night and keeping the people outside, but we didn't know. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to share our vision. We're excited about the momentum this project is gaining and hopeful that with the support of council and the community, we can bring something truly special to South Huron this summer. We welcome your comments, questions, or concerns.
Well, thank you for your presentation, Jonathan. Well done. Are there any questions from members of council at this time? Sounds very promising. There's lots of opportunity there, and you're working with a number of partners, which is very positive. And I was on the candidate committee a number of years ago, and never underestimated what a small group of people can do or accomplish. Indeed, it's the only thing it ever has, right?
Yes.
So if there's no other questions, I guess, Ms. Sue Carlson, do you have any comments at all about working with these folks?
No, we will work with you. I do believe that we've received the special events policy. So what usually happens is we work with you through that process, and then a final report is brought to council and with the requests that you have outlined.
Yes, I'm just waiting to hear back. I believe Alex said that she was going to be getting in contact with the other people within the municipality that we needed to meet with, and we can figure all that out from there. But yes.
Great job. You answered all the questions. There's nobody on council has any questions. That's a good sign. Well done.
Perfect. Thank you.
Great. Yeah, thanks again for attending tonight. Appreciate it. You bet. Okay, Ms. Sue Carlson, please.
That South Huron Council receives a delegation regarding 2025 Canada Day celebrations in South Huron as presented by Jonathan Ralston.
And a mover, moved by Councillor Neeb, seconded by Councillor McLeod-Haggett. Any discussion? Call the question. All in favor? And that carries with 6. Thank you. Public meeting, there is none. 7.1, please.
That South Huron Council adopts the minutes of the regular council meeting of April 7th, 2025 as printed and circulated.
And a mover, please. Moved by Councillor Vaughn, seconded by Councillor Dietrich. Any discussion? Call the question. All in favor? That carries with 6. 8, please.
That the minutes and agenda packages of the following committees and or boards be received as presented to council. Exeter Business Improvement Area, BIA, minutes of March 18th, 2025. Asable Bayfield Conservation Authority, draft minutes of March 20th, 2025, and agenda of April 17th, 2025. Upper Thames River Conservation Authority, Source Protection Authority meeting, draft minutes of April 16th, 2024, agenda package of April 22nd, 2025, Board of Directors meeting, draft minutes of March 25th, 2025, agenda package of April 22nd, 2025, and Finance and Audit Committee meeting, draft minutes of September 24th, 2024, and agenda package of April 22nd, 2025, Committee of the Whole, minutes of March 31st, 2025, Court of Revision, minutes of April 7th, 2025.
And a mover, please. Moved by Councillor McLeod Haggett, seconded by Councillor Neeb. Any discussion? Call the question. All in favor? Carries with 6. Thank you. 8.6, please.
That South Huron Council receives the Heritage Advisory Committee draft minutes of April 9th, 2025, and approves the following recommendations. A designated heritage plaque be affixed to Town Hall and Stephen Arena, and that photos with small descriptions of the designated properties be hung in the South Huron Recreation Centre.
And a mover, please. Councillor Neeb, seconded by Councillor McLeod Haggett. Any discussion? Councillor McLeod Haggett, go ahead, please. Okay, comments? Councillor Neeb, you have a comment?
Thank you through the chair. Based on the discussion, we only really discussed the South Huron Rec Center for now, but I think because we also have to get these photos printed. So I think the idea was that in the budget for next year that we would try to put photos up in other community centers across the municipality. So we just start with the South Huron Rec Center. The goal of the committee, I think, was to have a very visible location for some of the photos to kind of make more of a bang for their buck. So that was the goal behind putting it in the South Huron Rec Center, just with the understanding that that's one of the key locations where there's a lot of events occurring. So, but I can take that back, but that was the intention, to also have some photos hung up in the Dasher Community Center, the Cradditson Community Center, and the Kirkton Woodham Community Center as well.
Great.
And not just of designated properties, but also of other heritage properties and heritage photos, because the members of the committee have a number of really cool heritage photos of the area. So, yeah.
Great. Thank you for that. Any other comments at this time? Okay, not seeing. We have a mover and a seconder. If there's no further discussion, call the question. All in favor? And that carries with hands up, please. 5. Thank you. And next item, please. 8.7.
That South Huron Council receives a report from the CAO Performance Review Committee, and that remuneration for the 2025 calendar year be set at $183,855 per annum, retroactive to January 1st, 2025, and that the professional development allowance continues to be set at $15,000 for the 2026 budget year.
And a mover, please. Moved by Councillor Neeb, second by Councillor McLeod Haggett. Any discussion? Not seeing any. Call the question. All in favor? And that carries with 6. Thank you. Next item, please. 9.1.
That South Huron Council receives staff report BPS 06-2025, Building and Planning Q1 for information.
And a mover, please. Moved by Councillor Deputy Mayor, and then Councillor Neeb seconds it. Any discussion? Call the question. All in favor? That carries with 6. Fire and Community Services, 9.3 Operations, 9.4.1, please.
That South Huron Council receives staff report FIN 06-2025. It's a 2024 fourth quarter operating budget variance report for information.
And a mover, please. Moved by Councillor Vaughn, second by Councillor Neeb. Any discussion? Call the question. All in favor? That carries with 6. Next item, please. 9.4.2.
That South Huron Council receives staff report FIN 07-2025, the 2025 council expenses as of March 31st, 2025 for information.
And a mover, please. Moved by Deputy Mayor, seconded by Councillor Vaughn. Any discussion? Call the question. All in favor? That carries with 6. Thank you. Next item, please.
That South Huron Council receives staff report FIN 08-2025. It's the 2025 Capital Progress Report, March 2025 for information.
And a mover, please. Councillor Neeb, seconded by Deputy Mayor. Any discussion? Call the question. All in favor? That carries with 6. 9.4.4.
Let South Huron Council receive staff report CL 07-2025, the 2025 Exeter Ram Rodeo, and that the special event permit 2025 Exeter Ram Rodeo is approved in principle, and that the special event application and administration fees in the amount of $800 be waived, and that an exemption to the municipal noise bylaw for Saturday, August 9th from 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. be approved, and that municipal staff provide assistance and resources as outlined in the request for municipal resources attachment, and that South Huron Council declare the 2025 Exeter Ram Rodeo event to be municipally significant.
And a mover, Deputy Mayor, seconded by Councillor McLeod Haggett. Any discussion? Call the question. All in favor? That carries with 6. Next item, please.
That South Huron Council receive staff report CL 08-2025, municipally significant event designation request, Kirkton Rumble, and that South Huron Council deem the 2025 Kirkton Rumble as a municipally significant event for the purposes of the application obtaining a special occasion permit.
And a mover, please. Councillor Dietrich, seconded by Councillor Neeb. Any discussion? Call the question. All in favor? Carries with 6. Next item, please.
That South Huron Council receives staff report CAO 07-2025, 2023 to 2026 council priorities, Q1 2025 work plan for information.
And a mover, please. Councillor McLeod Haggett, second by Councillor Vaughn. Any discussion? Councillor McLeod Haggett, go ahead, please.
Yes, sorry about that. Through you, Mayor, I would just like everyone to maybe think in advance of the council priority settings that we look at maybe adding something about the healthcare during this session, given the upcoming community engagement session, to see where we fall in that.
Very good. Councillor Vaughn, you had a comment? Microphone? Sorry.
Sorry. Just wanted to say I really liked reading through the very colorful recap report for last year's completed tasks. I thought it looked great. Obviously, that's also for the community to follow along with how we're doing on our priorities. So kudos to the CIO and the staff for putting that together.
Okay, very well. Is there any other comments at all? As far as process, Ms. Masood Carlson, putting it on healthcare onto the priorities, do we need anything further on that?
No, we don't. It will come up to our discussion, and the meeting has been set for a priority setting, so it'll be a workshop. Okay.
Perfect. So we have a mover and a seconder. If there's no further discussion, I'll call the question. All in favor? And that carries with 6. Thank you for that. And next item, please.
The South Huron Council received staff report CAO 08-2025 as special powers and duties of the head of council for information.
And a mover, please. Moved by Councillor Neeb, seconded by Councillor Dietrich. Any discussion? Councillor Dietrich, go ahead.
Thank you to the mayor. Is this what do you call it, a compulsory deal here, or this is just for information that the premier put this out, or who put this out?
Perhaps Ms. Masood Carlson can comment.
Through the mayor, this is legislation. It's proposed at this time. It could be effective as of May 1st, 2025. So it's provincial legislation, and municipalities as creatures of the province, we follow provincial legislation. So the report itself outlines what is. There are some things that can be delegated, other items that cannot.
Councillor McLeod Haggett.
You through you, Mayor Finch. So last night on CTV, Mayor Trevor Bassinet, along with Mayor Luc Charbonne, so Goderich and Shawgeen Soares, they have both indicated that they do not want these strong mayor powers. So Mayor Finch, I'm just looking for your comment on whether you are looking to exercise the strong mayor powers that would be granted under the legislation that's been put forward.
And I'm not sure how I can answer that because I really haven't had an opportunity to do that at this point. It's not legislated yet. So I do have a small script here I'd like to read, if that's okay. Any other comments first before we go there? Go, Councillor Vaughn.
Yeah, just so before you get into your script, um, there's an awful lot to unpack in all of this, and each sort of stage of rolling out for the super mayor powers have been a little bit different. You know, we started with the really big ones, big targets for houses, and then the sort of second round was more the municipalities who wished to participate had to come forward and indicate what their target could be. Okay, so more that way. Um, w- I'm not expecting somebody to have the answer to this right now, but what I found very interesting about this particular round is that there really isn't any kind of target. It's sort of the powers look to be very similar, the way they're worded right now, but there's no target. And yet there's a commentary in here about, or in the letter that came to us from the minister about this makes us more accountable. And I'm struggling with trying to understand just exactly how that is, because there's no actual target. With no target and not being able to meet said no target, not very clear about how or if we may be able to to benefit from further money from the province for infrastructure build. If there is an expectation that we're going to have to come up with a target at a later time, i.e. after they actually pass this legislation. So I just wanted to put it on the table. Those are some of the things that are going through my mind that I'm really not too clear about at why this third round is happening and is happening the way it is, because I just don't see the incentive and the accountability for these municipalities that are on this slate.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments? Deputy, go ahead.
Thank you. I guess I have a couple of comments. The 1st of May deadline is really, really short. Gives us absolutely no time to look at any of this, as far as I'm concerned. And another concern of mine is the province just keeps shoving some more stuff down to us. I mean, they're pushing this down to the lower tier, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but it could be, depending who your mayor is, and that scares me. I sat here a long time and we seem to have got along very well the way it is. So I'm definitely not in favor of moving this forward. And I don't know how we change it, but that's my thoughts anyway. Thank you.
Okay, any other comments at this time? Councillor Neeb.
Thank you, Mayor Finch. So the one thing too, that as I was reading through it, is it's only confined to servicing and utilities. So matters that relate to basically anything revolving around development. So with that, I think it's very targeted around development, and whether or not a mayor would exercise that power, I don't know. I think that is contingent upon the situation that you're in. But the one thing that does make me feel a little uncomfortable is the majority rule kind of being eroded. While this could or not promote development, the one thing that our AMO president did say was that it's an additional tool that municipalities can use. Whether or not we, this council or future mayors decide to use that, I think ultimately, again, we're creatures of the province. Whatever powers are dictated to us, we have at our disposal, and it's again ultimately up to our mayors to decide whether or not they wish to use that power or not, if this does come to pass. And again, I don't know. I don't necessarily agree with it, but I also can see the potential of how it could move development forward in the right hands.
Ms. Masuo-Carlson, please.
Just for point of clarity, and maybe it wasn't clear in the report, but the priorities of the province are transit, roads, utilities, and servicing. However, strong mayor powers, as outlined in the proposed, cover more than just the provincial prescribed. So, for example, budgets. There's things that aren't necessarily tied to the priorities. Okay, just for clarity.
Good. Any other comments? Councilor McLeod-Haggett.
So yeah, just going off what you had just said, Rebecca, is like the mayor would have the opportunity to terminate your position and rehire anyone that he chooses. He could choose to bring a new budget to us, say in September, and have full control of what is in the budget and not what we've projected over the next 10 years changing that way. So there's definitely a much broader scope of what is involved in these strong mayor powers.
Thank you. Any other comments? Very well. So this new authority demands the utmost accountability to those of us that are now provided with this responsibility, effective in May. The news release from April 9th states, this significant expansion reflects Ontario's commitment to streamline local governance and help ensure municipalities have the tools they need to reduce obstacles that can stand in the way of new housing and infrastructure development. It also states that heads of council are key partners in our efforts to build homes and infrastructure across the province. By extending strong mayor powers to these additional municipalities, we are providing mayors with every tool at our disposal to empower them to get homes and infrastructure built faster. Mayors know their municipalities best, and we support them in taking bold actions for their communities. I would suggest that members of council collectively know their municipalities best. However, moving on, my comments are, I can only surmise the term reduce obstacles refers to people. As we know, our municipal affairs rep reports ours and other council decisions from our region up the chain to Minister Flack, which may have helped the minister decide to provide these powers for greater accountability for these councils, and in particular, hold mayors more accountable in ensuring the provincial policies and initiatives are being followed. Otherwise, why grant these new initiatives and powers? I'm also under the understanding that developers across Ontario have expressed their frustration to the province in the aforementioned obstacles. Councils are creatures of the province, and we need to remind ourselves of that, as we have no standing under the Constitution, and the province can change our status with the stroke of a pen. I strongly believe in open and transparent government and democracy, but above all else, I believe in full accountability of an elected official and municipal employees, which I will establish quite clearly that our staff are, in my view, the best in the business. And I see no value in exercising these powers on staff whatsoever. That system is working very well, and I would like to publicly acknowledge the strong work ethic that our staff provide each and every day. We work collectively as a council and are required to follow the provincial policy statement and adapt it to our circumstances in cooperation of the policies. We do not work as individuals, but rather as a collective. These new authorities make me even more accountable to the province and to the people that elected us. Greater responsibility means more accountability, which I am no stranger to. As I've stated time and time again, which I'll say again this time, if we do not follow the provincial policies, our authorities, such as the case here now, will be changed or removed. The province is set to implement this policy regardless if we disagree with it. I will only use them if I believe council is not acting in accordance with policy or is making decisions not in the best interest of the municipality. But just because the authority is there does not mean I have to use it, because hence it is important to follow the policies as a council, and I see no reason to use them at this time. Councils that are indecisive will bring cause for the province to look for more innovative ways to achieve their objectives. Worst case scenario is that we are moved to a single tier because the province can, and will leave us with very little say. So for me, this is a shot across the bow of what could be on the radar. Let's follow the rules, use common sense, be visionary, and work with everyone to achieve a stronger Ontario, and in particular, a stronger South Huron. And let's not forget, it was 25 years ago that the amalgamation took place. Could it happen again? I'll leave it with you. Thank you. Any other comments? Deputy, go ahead.
Thank you. I guess my only other comment is, and I was listening and I heard but you're not going to be the mayor forever and ever. So I guess my only concern is the next mayor or the next mayor. And like Wendy said, there's a lot of power there as far as hiring and firing people and doing the budget. I still have a grave concern over this. Thank you.
And I share your concerns, quite honestly, Deputy. I do, honestly. I have no power in telling the government not to give me that power, but I look to you as members of council to be visionary and give me no reason to have to even consider using it. And I'm trusting that that will never happen. So I really see it as a tool in my toolbox that I'll probably never, hopefully, have to use. But if I have to, there will be discussion ahead of time before that happens with members here. Councillor Neeb, you got something?
No, and it was just mainly a question of clarity because I don't think that especially with hiring and firing, that we would still have to follow the other legislation when it comes to, like, you couldn't just fire someone without just cause. But maybe not. I don't understand. I don't think that trumps those laws.
Yeah, and back to the deputy's comments, it is a great amount of power. The wrong person sitting in this chair could change the entire scope of this organization, and we are very successful. And I give credit to Ms. Masua Collison and her staff. They are the backbone of the community, of our council, right? They're the ones that do the heavy lifting for us. And the chief and the firefighters, we have amazing staff, and I say that every single time. So there's no reason for any mayor sitting in this chair to even contemplate trying to restructure, reorganize the entire organization. And as far as the budget goes, for me, that's a council decision on where we move forward with it. I see no point in me throwing my agenda out there, okay? Any different I would normally do. It's just about working together collectively. We are not individuals. When we sit here, we are a collective of 7 different minds to work cooperatively with each other to the benefit of the municipality of South Huron. Comments? And I would think that my reputation should say, I've been fair and honest for 30 years policing, the last 6+ years as the longest serving South Huron mayor. I do what I got to do. I think I've been treating everyone as fair as possible, but it is a great amount of responsibility. When I read that, I'm actually quite shocked to see the amount of authorities that they have given me. But I trust the fact that they're hoping that mayors will be accountable enough to make the right decisions. Councillor Neef.
And this is just a question for staff as far as, because it was expanded to 167 new municipalities, but not every municipality in the province of Ontario was given or is slated to be given these powers. Is that correct?
That is correct. It was single tier and lower tier with more than 6 council members. So some of the smaller municipalities and upper tiers like the counties did not receive it.
Any other comments at this point? The province is going to do what the province wants to do, and we have very little say. Councillor Vaughan, go ahead, please.
Yes, so assuming they will pass this come May, and I expect they likely will. One of the things that we as a council, I believe will have to change, and I do think that our CIO wrote it in her report in fairly short order after that passage, is our procedural bylaw and potentially any other code of conduct and so on and so forth will need to be amended and maybe thought through too, and not necessarily just applied against whatever changes in the municipal act. I think of one thing, and I'm just going to put it on the table, and I'm not saying it's what it's going to be or anything like that, but I think about our code of conduct. And somewhere in that code of conduct, if not stated explicitly, we do make comments in that code of conduct that once we've made a decision as council, we stick with that decision. We stand behind it as council. So this kind of changes everything in terms of you're not really making decisions as council. Or you may not be. It depends. So you've got to have the rules in place for if a situation comes up where the mayor chooses he should use the powers. We need to know how those powers are actually going to work and what all the reporting is that may become, you might be accountable for. We also need to have an understanding of how we as a council, if we're not making that decision as a council, how we act outside of these chambers. So, yeah, I just see some challenges ahead in working through the devil's in the details on this one, for sure.
I'd say that's a good way to sum that up. The devil is in the details. We have no idea where this will lead us. We have no idea where other councils across the province who've been granted, will be granted these powers, what that will look like in the future. But again, the highest level of accountability is being placed on the 169 mayors and those that are currently with that power. So again, when it comes to voting, it is so important. We're in a federal election right now. Vote and know who you want to vote for and understand where they are on topics of interest to you. When it comes to municipal government, we are the closest to the people. So that is why it's so imperative to make sure the right person is sitting in all 7 chairs here. If you have people that are indecisive or can't make a decision or whatever the case may be, that's not strong. And we need to have all members of council strong all the time to move us forward. And then that's a successful council at the end of the day, and it becomes a successful municipality. You know, we're always advocating for funding at the provincial level, and we'll continue to do that, of course. But just be aware, 25 years ago, it was a different story what was going on, and we all remember that. And so who knows what the future looks like? But at the end of the day, what I read is about more accountability on all members of council and what it comes down to, and puts that responsibility right on this chair to make sure that if anyone's, you have to make sure that I'm following the rules and moving us as a municipality forward. And but it has to be done such in a calculated way and very cautiously if the mayor actually uses those powers. So I'm hoping I never have to use those powers. I really don't see where I would, but anyways, let's hope we never have to cross that bridge. Any other comments at this time? Okay, not seeing any. Well, we have a mover and a seconder. There's no further comments. Call the question. All in favor? And that carries with 6. Thank you very much, and thank you for the discussion. Next item, please, will be notice the motion. Clerk, are there any notice the motion you're aware of?
There are none.
Thank you. Items for discussion arising from previous meeting, 11.1, one having, Deputy, go ahead. Do you have a notice the motion or something, or? Okay, go ahead.
Sorry. Previous meeting, I would like to attend the Huron County Municipal Officers meeting. I had a previous one and it got canceled, so I would like to attend now if that's okay.
Yeah, I'll tell you that also. So anyone else going to? I think there's Marissa, you're going, myself and Deputy, and that's it. Okay. Go
So,
ahead.
yeah, sorry. So just for process, if we could get a resolution.
Okay, resolution just for Deputy, Councillor Neeb and Councillor Dietrich. And any discussion? Call the question. All in favor? And that carries with 6. Thank you. Next item, move on to 11.1. Any discussion on that? Okay, not seeing. Oh, Councillor Vaughn, go ahead, please.
Yeah, so I wrote myself a couple of notes here. Initially, not being too sure what actually happened at county council, but then it seems we got an email later or this afternoon that I think they've actually passed the official plan as presented or has approved on March 3rd by this council. So in our last council, we had an email from Denise, our senior planner on the official plan, and she was talking about a proposed modification that would potentially assist CVD with their developmental plans going forward, at least open the door for a potential residential. In that email we got today, I was a little fuzzy because it kind of sounded like there was some, in the very last sentence of that, some amendment to allow for something. And I'm not sure if it was what Denise was referencing or not. So I guess my real question is, where are we with this in terms of, are we opening it up? Are we amending anything? Or did county take that amendment already?
Ms. Pasudo calls.
Through the mayor, thanks for that question. And yes, the county did take the amendment and pass it with the amendment, the modification that Denise had recommended. So it's not coming back to this council.
Okay, that's good. So that squares us all the way around in terms of county, municipality, and even CVD, who in their delegation last meeting basically said that if we could go for what Denise had put forward as an amendment, they would be happy. Is that correct?
Through the mayor, that's correct. Now, the other, since it's brought up anyway, it was the Stefan property that we had Planner Baker come in and speak a couple of times. And that property was removed from the official plan, was my understanding, and they're still working through that. So that particular property in Crediton may come back to this council, but the CVD property has been approved as modified, as recommended by the planner.
Go ahead.
Okay, so that makes me ask another question. Was the entire property in Crediton, the Stephen property, removed, or just what part of it? Because we had a couple of different renditions about it being this big and then 2/3 of that, and where have we landed?
Through the mayor, at this point, no change from what council approved. However, the discussions are still happening.
Follow up.
Nope, that's clear.
Okay, thank you. No further discussion on 11.1 then? Okay, and we don't need a mover or a seconder. New business, any new business at this time? Okay, not seeing any. Mayor and councillor comments. And go ahead, anyone? Councillor McLeod Haga, please.
Thank you, through the mayor. I've got a few things. So I attended Thrive day 1, and then I ended up attending day 2 as well. The Ontario West Coast Tourism Outlook did a great presentation, and our BIA manager attended as well that day. And she has come up with some really great ideas to help bring tourism to our area. So I'm excited to work with her and do her presentation next week to the at the BIA meeting. Second was the digital marketing trends. I've really tried my hardest to stay away from AI and ChatGPT, but there was a presentation that was done using those by Emily Bailey. And ChatGPT is actually pretty cool. I implemented a few different things into what I do at the lawyer's office this past week. So it's, but you always have to double check what they spit out at you, but it's pretty cool. And then day 2, that day just absolutely blew me away. Michaela and Stacy, they did an amazing job organizing day 2 of Thrive. They highlighted the resources that we have in our community, the spirit of collaboration, and what our municipality and county is all about. The partners that have come together to organize this within our county is hands down phenomenal. I couldn't praise them enough on what they did. Stacy did comment to me later that day that other places in Ontario have reached out to them to come together and see what and how Huron County has created the CSWB. It was phenomenal. So then also the panel discussion, the people that attended and talked about what they're doing within the community was phenomenal. The questions and answers went a little rogue, but the audience loved it, went with it. There was a lot of, well, not a lot, there was, I think, 12 students that attended. They were really connected with what we were having. I had a few conversations with them afterwards. They're excited to see what is coming. They're going to check out the website for CWSIB, or sorry, CSWB, it's a mouthful, and take some things back to their schools. I think what they can eventually give to the community and put out is big. One of the big takeaway was someone had asked, what is my role as a community member? And one of the panel members said, educate yourself and know what is available to help others. That to me is very key. And then another individual attended from the Gen Well Project, building communities of human connections. If you ever have an opportunity to attend one of his sessions, so empowering. He aims to make the world a happier place by educating, empowering people with more face-to-face interactions. He actually had us all stand up and go around and high five, fist pump, everyone within the auditorium. It was really good. His mission is practically relevant to today's world as the social isolation and loneliness are growing concerns within all of our communities. And then one other thing, Pat O'Rourke, he posted something yesterday on social media. So if you don't mind, I would just like to read. It has to do with the community engagement session. So hello, South Huron community members. The notice of the attached meeting is important to all members of the South Huron community. The master plan proposed is critical to the future of our hospital and healthcare in our community. The current hospital board executive and the CEO are supporting the build of a new hospital. If that takes place, the new hospital would probably not be built in Exeter. Is that what we want? Are we satisfied with operation of the current hospital board? There is a distinct lack of representation of the South Huron community as all of the executive members of the board are representing the Goderich Hospital. Has the merger between the Exeter and Goderich hospitals been a benefit to our staff and patients? The recent staff survey does not indicate satisfaction with that merger. So he's asking people to mark their calendars of the important meeting on June 4th in Bayfield, the community engagement session. So what I would like is to either have invite Jimmy to do a delegation to council, or have Jimmy and other healthcare providers come be invited to do a committee of the whole meeting so we can get a fuller grasp wraparound of what is happening in the works.
Okay, any comments at this time? Ms. Masu Carlson, process perhaps with requests from Ms. Councilor McLeod Haggett. Should we be asking for that, or Councilor Neave, you had a comment?
Yeah, just more of a comment because I don't think we have all of the information in order to make a decision. And I think there's this public engagement session that's scheduled for June 4th, I believe it is. I also think too, it's worth outlining too that our CAO does sit on a committee related to healthcare in the community. And so I'm wondering if perhaps as members of council, it would be a good idea to attend that session to learn more about what they're talking about. I don't know if I would want to find out more before we make a rash judgment about, any potential hospital closures or one opening up. I think we need to go and find out what the conversation is about and see what the board is hoping to gather. But again, I think it's worthwhile for us to attend, but I think we should get some information before we invite them with under the pretense of any of that information on social media.
I think that's probably wise to attend that June 4th meeting perhaps, and then get more information right from the source, and then if more discussion needs to take place, that's something we can certainly look at. Are you satisfied with that, Councilor McLeod Haggett?
I would like to perhaps even just invite Jimmy to do or have something arranged in South Huron. If the community engagement session was also done here as well, not just in Bayfield, if that's possible.
Yes, and I believe Ms. Masu Carlson has a comment.
Through the mayor, I did reach out once that posting was circulated to me, and I did ask Jimmy if there was going to be sessions here in South Huron. He advised me that yes, there is, and he also noted that when council is ready, he would be happy to attend committee of the whole or a delegation. So he's open for that conversation as well.
As we know, nothing will happen fast when it comes to this master plan, so perhaps let's gather the information we need. And then if we need to have Mr. True or anyone else come in and do a delegation, that'd be probably more proper at that time. Okay, any other comments at this time? Mayor's comments and that? Go ahead, Councillor Vaughn.
Yeah, I just wanted to, it was a great recap that Wendy gave here on the Thrive Economic Summit. I wish I had been there for day 2, but I was only there for day 1. So I did find the AI workshop and also the presentation to be really of benefit. And it's amazing what you can just dream up to throw into the chat GPT about something you want done and have all these great ideas coming right back at you. But so I thought day one was really worthwhile. We also had a speaker at the beginning of the day, a fellow by the name of Brock Dickinson. I hadn't heard him speak before, but he talked about all of the challenges we've been through lately with our global pandemic and work shortages and high rounds of inflation. And yeah, so now we're into tariffs and trade wars and all sorts of fun stuff. But he basically was trying to give us all a message of encouragement that there's an awful lot of things that we can do in this period of chaos that will move our municipalities forward, and referred us to some of the YouTube presentations he's made, which I haven't gotten to yet, but I think they're going to be probably very worthwhile. It's good to meet him. Also wanted to just mention I attended the Dashwood open house. That was about 2 weeks ago. It was a great open house. It was basically bringing two committees that I sit on together to talk about key issues that we're dealing with right now. The first one being the Dashwood Community Hall, which is joint with Blue Water, where we showcased opportunities for the community to choose between 3 different designs of a playground equipment. And that was a lot of fun because it brought in a lot of families and a lot of little kids to actually see what was going to be new in Dashwood. Also to, again, with the Community Hall Advisory Group, the Men's Club had a proposal for a renovation that they want to actually do to the hall. So they were basically gathering information from the community to see if people thought this was a worthwhile proposition. So we're having a meeting with that committee later this week. So hopefully we'll get some good feedback in terms of what the public had to say. And then from the Dashwood Development Fund, the Community Development Fund, we've, as you probably are aware, we had to bring down the old Christmas tree decorations. We're changing the lighting poles. We need some new Christmas decorations, and Dashwood was very much in favor of spending the money on that endeavor. Blue Water has agreed to chip in a certain amount of money as well. So again, the families and the children and all of the people who attended actually had an opportunity to look at 4 different designs and make some voting on what they might like to see in downtown Dashwood. So I think there was a good measure of excitement amongst all of the people about all of the happening things that are happening in Dashwood with the redevelopment of Main Street, some of these new initiatives. It's also the year for, we're having Freedsburg days this year as well. So all in all, I would just like to say there's a very happy community right out there right now, and very happy to see it myself.
Great. Any other comments at this time? Oh, Councillor McLeod-Hagan, go ahead.
So through you, Mayor Finch, just Councillor Vaughn, I attended the Dashwood open house as well, and a lot of the kids were actually excited because they thought that they were actually part of the process of deciding what is coming into their community. So I loved that you guys did the stickers, the dots. Alex did a great job at encouraging kids to pick out what lights they like. I may have pushed them a certain way maybe, but the kids loved the sticker, the dot system. It was a great thing for them.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments at this time? Not seeing any. Very well. What's the mayor been up to? Well, I attended the charity hockey game at the Rec Center on April 10th, hosted by several local businesses in support of the Food Distribution Center and the local food banks. I got to tell you, it was a very impressive turnout and a very strong community event. And I'm really actually quite hopeful to see this continue into the future, because I can see that really growing. And it's just a great opportunity to build community. April 12th, I attended the Dashwood Community Center for the graduation of 23 temporary farm workers who achieved their English as a second language certificate. Both were from the Hater Farms, and as we know, Haters have been strong supporters of many community initiatives. These folks were mostly from the Philippines and Honduras. The event was hosted in cooperation with our county partners and the local immigration partnership and ACTEV. On April 14th, I attended the Grand Bend Area Community Health Clinic Strategic Plan. Healthcare is on the forefront, as we talked about in our communities. We must never take our healthcare facilities or the healthcare professionals for granted. Kudos to all the work they do on behalf of the greater Grand Bend area and the partners they have created. It's a very strong community in the Grand Bend area, and we have great partnerships back there. I attended the Thrive Summit, as we talked about, on April 15th in Blythe, and just want to acknowledge the efforts of how everyone works so well to achieve such a great program. Our very own Stacey Jeffrey partnered with several others to make it the success it was. And I want to thank her for coordinating the program on our behalf. She seemed very much at ease in speaking in front of everyone, and I received many compliments about the event. Just overall well done. And with regards to the healthcare being so important, we talked about, I encourage everyone to make sure they go to the June 4th meeting at the Bayfield Community Center. And again, thanks to, we talked about attending the Dashwood Community Hall for the discussion on what's going on with the playground equipment and other things. And our staff there, again, did a great job. So thanks, Alex, for attending that and making it what it is. So that's all I have. If there's nothing else, move on to communications. Very well, here we go. Ms. Masula Carlson.
14.1, 14.2, 14.3,
Pull that,
14.4,
pull that,
14.5, 14.6, 14.7, 14.8, 14.9, 14.10, which includes 10.1, 10.2, 10.3, 10.4, and 10.5.
Paul,
14.11, which includes 11.1, 11.2, 11.3, 11.4.
Okay, 14.3, if anyone is able and can attend this ceremony review on June 9th. I was the reviewing officer last year, and I've done it before about 15 years ago. It's very remarkable to see these young people and the confidence they built through the program. So I would suggest if you can go, they would love to see you there. And 14.4, just want to comment about what a great MOU that is. Such a strong community in the Thames Road area, but that's exactly the way MOUs are supposed to work and operate. So I look forward to continue that program, that MOU into the future, because it does benefit everyone across our region. And we'll go to 14.10, and Deputy, go ahead, please.
thank you. Excuse me. I'd like to support the motion from Saugeen Shores.
Okay, so do you need to prepare that, Madam Clerk?
So just for clarification, you're looking for pretty much verbatim verbiage passed by council, okay? This is support of the letter. So it'll be that South Huron Council supports the correspondence dated April 14th, 2025 of Saugeen Shores, and that would be circulated. The resolution of support along with the correspondence would be circulated to the Premier of Ontario, MPP Thompson, Council, and all surrounding municipalities, all Ontario municipalities.
So
Yes.
moved.
Yes,
So moved by
moved.
Deputy Mayor, seconded by Councillor McLeod Haggett. Any discussion? Councillor Vaughn.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, first of all of these different letters are slightly different. So I don't know exactly what the Saugeen Shores one actually says. I don't feel totally prepared to be able to vote on that. And I'm wondering if the mayor or the deputy and Councillor McLeod Haggett would be prepared to make that a notice of motion so that it could be for next council meeting, and we could look at that specific one before we actually take a vote. Is that a possible? First of all, is it something you would consider, or do you want to have the vote tonight?
I think our next meeting might be in May though, but go ahead, Deputy.
Yeah, I think that's, by the time we come to our next meeting, it's gonna
It's the
be,
week after.
it's gonna be too late. I think I would like to, see this move forward now. And, if something else comes later on, then we can move it also.
I know.
Councillor Vaughn, comment?
Yeah, so just wondering if we can take a pause of about 2 or so minutes so I can just look through this letter. Is that
Sure.
possible?
Yeah, absolutely. Take your time. Yep.
I'm ready. Thank you.
Okay, so we have a mover and a seconder. Is there any further discussion? And we're supporting 14, what should we support here? Go ahead, Madam Clerk, go ahead with that. So we know what we're supporting on.
So the resolution would be that South Huron Council supports the April 14th, 2025 correspondence of the town of Saugeen Shores regarding opposition to proposed amendments to OREG 530-22 to expand strong mayor powers, and that this resolution and originating correspondence would be circulated to the Premier of Ontario, MPP Thompson, and all municipalities in Ontario.
So moved,
So moved.
seconded. Can you turn your mic on, please?
Second.
Very well. There's no further discussion. Call the question. All in favor? And that carries with 6. Thank you. Next item will be the recommendation, please.
That South Huron Council receive communication items not otherwise dealt with.
And a mover, please. Moved by Deputy Mayor, seconded by Councillor Neeb. Any discussion? Call the question. All in favor? Carries with 6. Thank you. And no closed session, no report from closed session. Bylaw 17.1.
That South Huron Council gives first, second, third, and final reading to bylaw 28, 2025, being a bylaw to name members to the Exeter Business Association Board of Management and set 2025 tax rates for properties in the Exeter Business Improvement Area.
And a mover, please. Councillor Neeb, second by Councillor McLeod Haggett. Any discussion? Call the question. All in favor? Carries with 6. Thank you. 17.2.
That South Huron Council gives first, second, third, and final reading to bylaw 29, 2025, being a bylaw to adopt a library facilities and services agreement with the Huron County Library Board.
And a mover, please. Deputy Mayor, second by Councillor Neeb. Any discussion? Call the question. All in favor? Carries with 6. Thank you. And 18.1.
That South Huron Council gives first, second, third, and final reading to bylaw 30, 2025, being a bylaw to confirm matters addressed at the April 22nd, 2025 council meeting.
And a mover, please. Councillor Neeb, seconded by Councillor Dietrich. Any discussion? Call the question. All in favor? Carries with 6 and 19.
Let South Huron Council hereby adjourn at 7:04 p.m. to meet again on May 5th, 2025 at 6 p.m. or at the call of the chair.
Moved by Deputy Mayor, seconded by Councillor Neeb. No discussion. Call the question. All in favor? Carries with 6. Thank you and enjoy the rest of your evening. Meeting adjourned.